Hello again. 3 games from the First Division this afternoon, including 2 with a very important bearing on the League Championship. And on a weekend when the league chairmen are looking to improve the game, it's nice to report we've got plenty of style to mark that occasion. And amongst the personalities on today's programme is Mark Hateley of Coventry City, who got a few words of advice before yesterday's game at Liverpool from someone who knows what it's like to play at Anfield. Of course, his father Tony, who actually played for both clubs during his career. Highlights too from the game which marked Ron Saunders' return to football after only 11 days. His old club Aston Villa, away to the club he officially joins on Monday, old rivals Birmingham City. But the moment which makes you wonder why football has any problems at the moment was provided by the familiar figure of Glenn Hoddle, playing for Tottenham against Manchester City at White Hart Lane.
Yes, the player I believe should be an automatic choice for England. And today's action gives me the chance to update the form and highlight moments of real class from some of the players who will be involved in this week's internationals.
But of course, the most important occasion of the week takes place today and tomorrow in Solihull, and that's the seminar of League Chairmen. We'll be hearing from Manchester City's Peter Swales.
Everybody's aware of the problems that we've got in the future and the problems that we've got now, but I'm really pleased about the attitude of everybody. They're all keen to sort things out, and I'm sure that over the next couple of days we'll see some really good changes for the good of football. Football's far from dead if the mood is anything to go by.
And more from the City Chairman Peter Swales about the mood at the seminar a little later on in the programme. But we start at Anfield for Liverpool against Coventry City. Your commentator there, as usual, is Martin Tyler.
There are 3 changes from the Coventry side, which was beaten 5-1 at home by Notts County in midweek, after which the players were individually interviewed by the club chairman Jimmy Hill. Jim Hagan stands in for Gary Gillespie, who's suspended. Brian Roberts is recalled at left-back, and the defensive qualities of Steve Jacobs are reintroduced in midfield in place of Peter Bodak. Steve Hunt's ambition for honours led to a transfer request which has been turned down this week. But he must have appreciated Ron Greenwood's remarks that he is very unfortunate not to be in the England squad for next Tuesday's international against Northern Ireland. Phil Neal will be there, still the country's most consistent right-back. He's not missed a league game for more than 7 years, and today he celebrates his 31st birthday. It's the 9th game in a row that Bob Paisley has announced this particular side. Phil Thompson's progression back to full fitness continues in the reserves and will serve as an incentive to a defence that has conceded 6 goals in the last 3 games. Liverpool then kick off on a pitch which is showing the scars of considerable efforts by the ground staff to keep it in playable condition before major surgery is applied here in the summer. It actually looks a lot worse than it is. Liverpool defend the goal to the left in the first half. Against the Coventry side, they've showed 2 faces to their football this season, through to the last 8 of the FA Cup, but without a win in the league since December the 5th. The referee is Gwyn Owen from Anglesey, who takes charge of the England match at Wembley on Tuesday. Liverpool looking to pick up the rhythm again after 2 away defeats. Hagan across, ahead of Lee. Dalglish. There's Jerry Francis. Bradford taking too long. And a shot from Dalglish. Kennedy. Looking for the feet of Dalglish. Couldn't quite squeeze the pass past Danny Thomas. He was then fouled by Rush. Liverpool won the game earlier in the season at Highfield Road by 2-1. Kennedy seeing a lot of the ball in the early phases. And finds Dalglish. McDermott's in the middle, and it might yet reach him. It might reach Souness, who scores! In the 5th minute. And the last thing Coventry City wanted was to concede an early goal here. But McDermott got an important touch, and Souness found the corner. Dalglish also involved, having made the first run and got the ball back into the danger area. Dalglish. McDermott with a dummy, setting up rush. And Coventry had numbers back. Finally, Dyson with a tentative clearance only as far as Neil, and McDermott was offside. Dalglish, Souness, this is Lee, and he was taken down late by Roberts, and Mr. Owen giving Liverpool the free kick, although they were still in possession. Touch for Sammy Lee, and it's deflected. Lee will take the credit. There was a delay on the free kick, and Blythe stood no chance once the ball had taken a touch off the wall from Sammy Lee's shot. Steve Hunt was the Coventry player, it seemed to me, who got in the way of the shot. And Liverpool lead 2-0 with 12 minutes played. And here is Hunt. Here is Hunt. Steve Hunt, who'd dropped back to take his part in the defensive wall. And Sammy Lee's shot was deflected in off him. Hakely. Lawrenson again. Francis. And perhaps a chance for Hunt. Robillard got his body in the way, and Lawrenson was first to the loose ball. Lee. On goes Neil. Whelan's on the far post, they're queuing up on the near side, and it's Rush who scores the third as Liverpool arrived in droves. Phil Neal carrying it deep into the Coventry area, biding his time until the pass was sure, and the easiest of chances for Ian Rush. And Phil Neal makes a significant contribution on his birthday. And Ian Rush gets his 21st of the season. 10 minutes left in the first half that has been totally one-sided. Dave Sexton in the centre of the Coventry dugout. Francis and Souness. But Liverpool, I'm afraid, are in a different league to Coventry City here. Metaphorically speaking. Dalglish turned beautifully. Got his angles right again. Lifted forward by McDermott. The touch from Dalglish was superb to work it onto the left foot. Kennedy tussling with Bradford. The linesman is flagging. The referee allows Kennedy to go on. This is Souness. And Blythe in the right spot again. On a cold afternoon, certainly Jim Blythe's hands are warm enough from the action he's had in this first half. Now Rush. McDermott. And this time it's Thomas who comes across and deflects it off McDermott for the goal kick. This first half seems to have been exclusively played in and around Jim Blythe's penalty area. So the half-time whistle goes. One wonders what's in store for Jim Blythe, who's already been beaten 8 times this week. It's his 150th league game for Coventry this afternoon. But for his efforts, his side could be in a much worse position than they are already. 3 goals down. The scorers for Liverpool: Souness, the deflected shot from Sammy Lee, and from Ian Rush. At half-time at Anfield, it's Liverpool 3, Coventry City 0. Paisley has pledged entertaining football at Anfield, and certainly his Liverpool side have lived up to the manager's doctrine in this first half. And Liverpool attacked the goal to the left in the second half with this 3-goal advantage. Lawrenson penalised. This weekend 3 years ago was the last occasion that Liverpool struck 6 goals in a First Division match. That was against Norwich. Francis for Coventry. Morrison stretches a long leg, but loses to Roberts. Only temporarily. McDermott. Whelan is onside. Francis struggling to get back with him. This is Rush. Finally, Francis got in the way. It's out of play. Today's crowd at Anfield, just over 28,000. Souness. Plenty of movement ahead of him. Jacobs, who was watching McDermott. Thompson. And here's Whelan for Liverpool. The early ball from Kennedy. And Whelan beats Thomas. Dalglish. For Whelan again. Kennedy. Rush. And Blythe comes. The angle tightened for Kennedy. The crowd show their appreciation at studied build-up from Liverpool again. Which ended with Alan Kennedy having the final effort at goal. Kennedy. He swung into that. It was unfortunate to see a body in the way, a Coventry body. Francis. And this is Hunt. Grobelaar has made the charge and brings Hunt down outside the area. was Mark Lawrenson who gave the ball away initially. That caused Grobbelaar to come charging out of his goal. Coventry have to settle for the free kick. Roberts. There's no end product for Coventry. Hagan has to go back. Bradford. Thomas was caught by Rush, and this is Dalglish. Now Lee. Whelan is the target for Lee's cross, and it drops short. Dalglish looking to get behind Thomas. Bradford almost putting his side back in trouble again. It's Hunt who's caught by Dalglish. And Neil, is he in for the birthday goal? No! But Steve Hunt was caught in possession in a crucial area by Dalglish. And Neil took it up from Dalglish's pass, prodded it past Blythe, but past the post. Graham Souness, who, barring any unforeseen accidents in the remainder of this game, will fly off with Scotland on Monday, as will Dalglish. And Dalglish is brought down, penalty. Hagan's trip. A nice touch from Blythe, who finds himself in the firing line again. But Kenny Dalglish wriggled away with the ball. Hagan was late. Definite penalty. Terry McDermott scored against Jim Blythe from the spot earlier this season, and does so again. Not the cleanest penalty he's ever struck. Goes under the goalkeeper. 18 minutes into the second half. It's Liverpool 4, Coventry 0. And Liverpool can now go looking for their best First Division win of the season. They beat Ipswich here 4-0, and also won 4-0 at Notts County. Francis. Now Bradford should have reduced the deficit. Hansen. Half held up by Haitley, now faced by Francis. Here's Whelan. Souness. Will it be the strike? It is. And Blythe flicks it over the top from Graham Souness. Assess the other possibilities before curling it with the outside of the foot. McDermott's corner, and Hagan and Blythe going for the same ball. McDermott with a second chance. Neil swings it in. Whelan is there. Whelan. It's Jacobs who met it solidly for Coventry, and Thompson with a great chance, but it's offside. I think Liverpool felt it was a good goal, but the flag was up. Thompson arriving ahead of Lawrenson, drilled it past Grobbelaar, but it doesn't count. Whelan, Souness, Dalglish, Liverpool arriving in numbers in the middle. Rush found the ball nearest to him, but he was at full stretch. And Jim Blythe has certainly deserved his better fortune in the second half. Now Francis. Certainly Coventry can look back on this second half with a little bit more pride. Their sense of competition has been sharper, and Francis produces a last-minute corner for them. We go into injury time. Bradford will take it. Souness sensing a possible counter-attack. Kennedy has rushed to his left. Dalglish arriving at the near post, came behind him. Souness! Corner. It would have been almost a carbon copy of his goal that determined the pattern of this match. Dalglish touching it off for Souness. Dalglish, his problem was to stay onside. It's an awkward bounce for Hunt. Well, it's a match that ran a predictable course, really. Coventry, with the worst defensive record in the First Division, torn apart here. Terry McDermott, the scorer in the second half from the penalty spot, to add to the 3 first-half goals from Graham Souness, Sammy Lee and Ian Rush. And Liverpool have flushed 2 disappointing results in the past week out of their system. The final score at Anfield, it's Liverpool 4, Coventry City 0.
Yes, Liverpool back in the groove, but it has to be said, against a very uninspiring Coventry side who haven't won in the league now since December the 5th, and they're really struggling there near the bottom of Division 1. Afterwards, I spoke to their manager, Dave Sexton, a winner the last time he was at Anfield as manager of Manchester United.
Last April, I think it was, we won 1-0 with Manchester United, and that's actually, well, in the 13 or 14 years I've been a manager, that's the only time we've ever won here. And today we got what most teams get when you come here, which is nothing.
Well, I thought Coventry were a very poor side yesterday and got exactly what they deserved. They provided such little opposition, it was difficult to assess the 3 Liverpool Scots that will form the backbone of the national side to play World Cup host Spain on Wednesday. Alan Hansen at the back was rarely put under any sort of pressure by the Coventry attack. In midfield, Graham Souness always had time, and he revelled in the space, looking even more arrogant than ever, and this lazy 40-yard ball out to Sammy Lee was typical of his performance. In attack, Jock's team will be pleased to see that Kenny Dalglish is back at his cheekiest. I've seen nutmegs before, but never where the player, as well as the ball, goes through the opponent's legs. And it was that piece of improvisation that enabled Dalglish to set off into a dribble into the area that completely confused the Coventry defence and resulted in a penalty for Liverpool's 4th goal.
Well, a final word on Liverpool. Since we covered them last time, we've had quite a few letters inquiring about the state of their pitch. And really, the problem is there for all to see, as I pointed out to the club's ground foreman, Bert Johnson.
Yeah, but what it is, it's compaction in the top 2 inches. So we've put sand holes in it. So the little spots you can see are actually sand cores to help the surface water get through to the lower part of the pitch, which is quite in order.
So basically it is a drainage
Oh,
problem?
it's just a slight drainage problem. It's called thatching, really, but it's more technical than that. But to get over it, we've had to do this because we can't reconstruct the pitch in the middle of the playing season.
Well, I mean, you must admit it looks a bit of a sight, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah, well, it looks a sight because your camera's 60 foot above it, so you're looking straight down on the holes. If you stand level and look at it now, it doesn't look so bad. But if you're looking at it from up in the air, it does look bad.
Now it's time for the Midlands derby, Birmingham City against the champions, Aston Villa, who've had such a disappointing league season so far and which led to the resignation of their manager Ron Saunders 2 weeks ago. Well, ironically, on Monday he takes over at Birmingham and was there yesterday to see the match covered by Central Television. Hugh Johns is the commentator, Birmingham in the white shorts, and here are the main incidents.
So here's the free kick. Mortimer, Cowans and Morley all involved here. Cowans, the chip forward, Evans gets there. And he's scored. No, he hasn't. It's under the bar and came down and out. Unbelievable. And here goes Handy Sides on a break. For one more. Got to be in. Oh, he missed it. And you've got to say that he did miss it. What more claiming that the ball was deflected. Scott getting forward. Cowans knocked out by Scott. What more? And Van Mierle. See him use his pace against Williams. It's a good-looking cross, and Ken McNaught belts that behind. As Watmore thought he was on something. It's Coventry knocking it forward. Brimner's header. Coventry will be there. No, it was just nicked away by Cowans, and Morley sends it on to With. Scott just got there in time, and With has got it. Peter With has broken the deadlock. The former blue striker brings Villa fans chanting to their feet. Peter With, his 13th goal of the season, is then unlucky for the Blues. It didn't look to me when the ball came in from Morley there as though With was going to get it. Scott tried to pass it back. He got a touch. Jones came and then stopped. And that's why With was able to beat him.
And that was the only goal for Peter With and Aston Villa, so a disappointing result there for Ron Saunders, who said afterwards, "We have a couple of things to sort out, but there shall be no problems." Well, now on to another match affecting the Championship between two sides near the top, Spurs and Manchester City. London Weekend cameras were there. The commentator is Brian Moore.
Manchester City's Nicky Reed. He had doubts about whether he wanted to play in midfield today. He had a dispute this week with manager John Bond because he prefers to play in the back four, but in fact he takes one of the midfield places today. At any rate, here's the Spurs team, still without Ricky Villa, who's now one match away from being fit after a hamstring injury, without Tony Galvin suspended, but with Steve Archibald starting the game after two substitute appearances and following 9 weeks out of action with an ankle injury. So he and Garth Brooks get together again. As for Manchester City, they've solved the Nicky Reed problem, and yesterday were able to pass Kevin Bond fit after some trouble with a thigh strain, so he's in the back four. Up front, Trevor Francis is hitting his best form, and proof of that is that he's scored 6 times in the last 7 games. The referee today is Alf Gray from Great Yarmouth. So Crooks and Archibald, the old combination, are together again, getting Spurs underway, attacking the goal to our left, and a terrible misunderstanding, allowing John Ryan to come in for Manchester City. Spurs in white, City in the all light blue strip. Curious misunderstanding there in the opening seconds as McDonald plants it in again, and a misunderstanding there again between Clementson, a defender, and it gave Francis a chance to get in for a moment. Well, 2 uncharacteristic errors there by a Spurs defence that's conceded only 3 goals in the last 11 games. Clementson and Paul Price getting themselves in a bit of a muddle. But Spurs unbeaten in their last 11. Brooks. Hoddle beaten by Caton. Oh, spinning furiously there. Right in front of Houghton, and I think it was waiting for it to finish its work. But wasn't allowed the time. Miller Archibald, a good ball there from Paul Miller. Hoddle, a lovely one from him, finding Perriman, played inside towards Crooks, but Caton again, barring the way for Manchester City. Hartford. Now the ball's out. Crooks. Archibald. Bit of pace there. Bit of the old style. And the good style too of Corrigan as he pushed that one away. But a lot of pace from Archibald. And a nice touch from Crooks that set him on his way. And a good save by Corrigan. As Hoddle takes this corner. Floated towards Miller. There seemed to be space for him a while. Price trying to get it back in there. And again. But Reeves will get it this time away for Manchester City, but Perriman returning it to Hoddle. Hoddle again. Crooks chesting it down towards Archibald. That old combination is beginning to look most dangerous again. Ardiles. And a free kick. Archibald. And a nice cross that by Dick towards Hoddle. And Archibald! Straight into the arms of Corrigan. And I think Steve Archibald might feel that he could have done a little better with that. Started, let me add straight away with that cross by Alistair Dick. Hoddle heading it in. Archibald arriving perfectly there, but guiding it straight at the keeper. Well, here comes City. And it's Nicky Reid making that break from midfield. And indeed finding Reeves. And a cross going onto the far side, and Francis arriving late. The angle was too fine for him, but it was a desperately run-close thing for Tottenham. Once Reeves had crossed it in, and Francis into the side netting. Francis taking that from Power's header. Now Paul Power again. And Francis again. Aston again. Reeves hoping to get something on the turn here. Hartford. Straight at Clements. Grabbed at the second attempt. Reeves doing some good work here. Perriman. To Miller. And again, Crooks trying to get free, but beaten in the air by Bond. Hoddle. Crooks once more. Hoddle trying to take it off him and go right the way through Hoddle. And he hits it straight at Corrigan. Corrigan refused to allow any sort of gap between himself and the near post, and Hoddle really positive though. And comes back off the keeper. Tottenham bench with the Spurs manager Keith Birkinshaw in the sheepskin coat. Hoddle. Handball, but it was an accident. It was a good advantage in any case. Hazard playing it on for Crooks. Against the crossbar. And away by McDonald. A lovely flowing move by Tottenham. And the referee quite right not to pull that back for handball. Hazard on his way. A lovely pass through for Crooks, who took it in his stride. Corrigan was beaten, but not the crossbar. And that's the end of the first half. So 0-0 as we go into the second half, with Manchester City now attacking the goal to our left. Francis. Sides, of course, who played in the final at Wembley. Spurs winning on a replay. Reeves and Houghton putting it behind for the corner. And they've met this season as well. Spurs winning by a goal to 0 up at Main Road in September.
when Mark Falco scored the only goal when he was in a tremendous run of goals. So Francis waits at the far post with Ray Clements there as Paul Power takes the corner for Manchester City. And right across the face of that Tottenham goal as Bobby MacDonald got right in there. And you should see from this MacDonald getting in very well there and catching Spurs out by arriving so late. And now Pereira. Ardiles. Hazard. Crooks. Ardiles again. Archibald. Hazard. And they claim the corner, and quite properly they get it. Mike Hazard. It's a good example of the way the squad system's working here at Tottenham. He's fitted in so well when he's required to fit in this season. In fact, you could say he really has been the find of the season for Tottenham. But it's stick at the moment. And Hoddle. Oh, off the line by Asa Hartford. And another corner. Well, it was Dick's corner. Just got away by Hartford for this corner here, which Hoddle will take. Miller's up on the edge of the penalty area. Big man they might be aiming for. Price, and now Miller with his header, and Archibald trying to get it on the turn. Huddle. Francis. Just a marginal mistake there by Huddle, and he's trying to correct it. He's trying to correct it again. Oh, and in the end, Nicky Reed with the shot. But, well, Clements, his concentration was good. He's had not a lot to do. And he just clipped that one away, and two England teammates there just having a quiet word. Bond trying to get the head in. Price got it away. Hazard then. Hartford trying to set up something on again. Reeves, and that time it was Perriman who got it away as far as Dick. Trying to release Hazard. Ransom dinking it back once more, and again Clements quickly off his line to spot the danger as Kevin Reeves came in. Hazard. Miller. The crowd just for a moment were getting a little anxious because Spurs seem to be playing a rather curious game there in and around their own penalty area. And at the moment, there's no margin for error for the home side, with the score still at 0-0. Oh, but a pass from Hoddle. Will it send Crooks on his way, tumbling down? And a penalty given, I think. A penalty given for the foul on Garth Crooks. No, is it a free kick? Penalty. They thought for a moment it was a free kick. It is clear that Alf Gray has given a penalty, and look at the protest there from the Manchester City players. Well, it was a ball played forward by Hoddle. Here's Crooks. He had trouble gathering it up, and it looked a bit harsh. And in fact, they're going across to the linesman, and he was nodding his head. He agrees it's a penalty. So far as the officials are concerned, justice is seen to be done. I think our slow motion suggests that it was a bit iffy. But Hoddle, who has scored 5 times this season, 3 from the penalty spot. Hoddle with a chance to put Spurs into the lead, and he does so. Superb penalty taker Hoddle, and Corrigan little chance going the wrong way, and Spurs into the lead. Houghton. Oh, skipping past the City defenders at the moment. Alistair Dick. He's got a corner. off John Ryan. And I think Hazard might go across to take it, unless it's a short one taken by Dick for Hazard. No, Dick's taking it. You saw Ardiles free. And now Hoddle, not so free. Oh, a magnificent goal! Look at them applauding in the stands, old and young. That was an unbelievable goal. Well, thousands were hanging around outside, wondering if they'd get in time, and if they did, the wait was all worthwhile. Ardiles playing it for Hoddle. There seemed to be no space for him, but my word, he cracked it just under that crossbar. 2-0. That was an absolutely masterful goal, because it looked as though there was no chance for him, but there was just that yard, and he struck it absolutely to perfection. Crooks sending Archibald on his way. Houghton has gone through the middle for him as well, up from the back. And Crooks, oh, and a great save by Corrigan. Yes, he may well signal his thanks. It was another great run by Archibald. And a terrific strike by Crooks and a fine piece of goalkeeping by Corrigan. Here's Trevor Francis. Archibald in for Houghton, up from the back. Houghton getting to the byline, pulls it back for Crooks. It must be three. It's not. It's saved by Corrigan. Brilliant play by Chris Houghton for Tottenham. Made such a long run and played the perfect ball in for Garth Crooks. But Corrigan tipped it away.
So 2-0 it remains. Some good action there. And what a stunning goal too by Glenn Hoddle. And we'll be having a little more about that in a moment or two. Well, after the game, City's manager John Bond was absolutely livid about Spurs' first goal, the penalty. If that was a penalty, he said, I might as well pack the game in. Garth Crooks just fell over and the ball was behind him. The referee was a million miles away. Well, let's take another look at it. Dennis, what was your view?
Well, I sympathise fully with John Bond. It was never a penalty. Until then, although City had not created much, they certainly looked capable of holding on for a draw. But when Glenn Hoddle hit this marvellous ball forward, you can see that it does not have quite enough pace on it and bounces behind Garth Crooks. He tries to flick it on, but succeeds only in stepping on the ball and tripping over it. So by the time Kevin Bond actually makes his challenge, the ball is already a yard or so behind the player.
Thanks, Dennis. Well, afterwards, the Spurs manager, Keith Birkinshaw, also said that it was a very dubious decision by the referee, Alf Gray, who you might remember disallowed a goal by Kevin Reeves at Main Road in the League Cup semi-final first leg against Liverpool last season. So not a very popular character at Main Road, Mr. Gray. Anyway, let's go back and join Dennis, who's been studying the form of the players we've seen on today's programme and who've got a chance of playing for England against Northern Ireland on Tuesday night. Dennis.
Yes, I'll be looking at the 8 England hopefuls, starting with the goalkeeper. That caught my eye, and that was Joe Corrigan, who had much more to do than Tottenham's Ray Clements. My sympathy goes out to Joe, who has played third fiddle for so long. But it's going to be Clements in goal simply because it's his turn to play. Even though he was never busy against Manchester City, he was always on his toes and dealt with that shot from Nicky Reid without too much trouble. Trevor Francis didn't see a lot of the ball either, but he always excites when he attacks and turns defenders, and was definitely City's most dangerous forward yesterday. He should get his England recall this week. But Glenn Hoddle's performance eclipsed all the others, a superb display of skills and touches we usually associate with South American players.
Crooks once more. Hoddle trying to take it off him and go right the way through. Hoddle! And he hits it straight at Corrigan. But it's stick at the moment. And Hoddle, off the line by Asa Hartford. Oh, Dick's taking it. You saw Ardiles free. And now Hoddle, not so free. Oh, a magnificent goal!
What a marvellous goal. Ron Greenwood must surely play him on Tuesday night and shape World Cup plans around those skills. At Liverpool, it was Phil Neal's positive for attacking run to the byline and his experience to wait for an unmarked colleague that produced Ian Rush's goal. And Terry McDermott's was also impressive, and this is his trademark, a blindside run into the area and an accurate shot to finish. Of the 8, only Villa's Tony Morley didn't feature, but even so, it was his through ball that led to the only goal at St Andrews, scored by the final member of the squad, Peter With.
Well, let's turn now to the most serious topic of the weekend, and that's the seminar of League Chairmen at Solihull, which began this morning and continues right through until tomorrow evening. Many crucial issues are being discussed and a number of changes are being proposed as well. And we can hear now on this morning's developments from Manchester City's chairman, Peter Swales, who joins us now on the phone from the Midlands.
Well, the first session was basically reviewing the things that we did in the 1980 seminar. And obviously, most things were endorsed. People had their views about the various things that decisions that were taken, but in the main everybody is prepared to carry on and keep going with them. The 3 points for a win obviously took a long time of discussion, but at the end of the day people think it's been good and it'll be carrying on. But really speaking, the meat of the matter has got to come yet, because really we're all rubber stamping and kind of saying to one another, okay, well, we didn't do a lot last time, but what we did was okay and we've got to do a lot more this time.
Would you say that the feeling you have is one of considerable change or not?
Yeah, I think there'll be quite a few changes. And possibly how we play the game may come into it later on in the sessions.
What do you mean by that?
Well, probably little bits of changes here and there, trying to make the game brighter. You know, I can't prejudge what will happen, but I just get the feeling we might get 1 or 2 little changes in the way we play.
You're actually referring now to the laws of the game, presumably?
Possibly the way we play defensive type of football, probably trying to encourage a little bit more attacking football.
But we'll leave you this afternoon with another look at the goal that should ensure Glenn Hoddle a place in the England side on that same night. From all of us here, goodbye.
Ardil is free. And now Hoddle, not so free. Oh, a magnificent goal!